One injured in a rare incident of shooting in Syrian. OCIS in the United Kingdom offering a program to enhance skills while working. Violence erupts in Pakistan. Those are the headlines for tonight. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, and this is TVS Nightline. A 67-year-old man was arrested by police for allegedly shooting a 39-year-old woman in Syrian in a rare incident of shooting in the state. The victim survived and sustained only right arm and shoulder injuries and is currently receiving treatment at the Syrian hospital. Syrian Police District Chief DSP Aswandi Anis said the police was alerted of the incident that took place in Mile 37, Jalan Kuching at around 8:10 a.m. It added the suspect was apprehended by members of the public and was later handed over to the police. He is currently in remand to assist in the investigation under Section 307 of the Penal Code. Aswandi said the motive of the shooting is yet to be ascertained. The Oxford Centre for Islamic Studies, OCIS, in the United Kingdom is now offering the Sarawak Sabbatical Program to encourage and enable Sarawak civil servants to enhance their professional skills. Premier Sarawak Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg launched the program at the Sarawak Wing at OCIS, which is part of an endowment initiative and collaboration between OCIS and the Sarawak government on Monday. In a statement issued by the Premier's office, the sabbatical program covers a range of tailored courses based on the needs and requirements of officers for a duration of 2 months. Abang Johari expressed his hope that the centre would extend its research sphere to cover sustainability, decarbonisation and green economy to keep abreast with current world action to mitigate climate change, in which Sarawak is well poised to be a part of the global order against climate change, with various initiatives already in place towards decarbonizations, energy transition, and the development of renewables. OCIS, under the patronage of the former Prince of Wales and now King Charles III, is a recognized independent centre of Oxford University and a registered educational charity that aims to encourage the scholarly study of Islam and the Islamic world. At least one protester has died as clashes between protesters and police erupted on Tuesday following the arrest of former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf PTI workers took to the streets after the party's leadership's call for nationwide protests against the arrest of party chief Imran Khan. The ousted leader was arrested for a multi-million rupee land corruption case. Similar protests were launched in several cities in Karachi, Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Roadblocks have caused congestions, forcing the police to resort to tear gas shelling to disperse the protesters.
मुल्क में जो है अफरा तफरी का आलम है। अब कराची शहर के हम रहने वाले हैं। आज सरकारी तौर पे तो तमाम स्कूल खुले रखने का ऐलान किया गया, लेकिन मेरे ख्याल में 99% स्कूल जो है उसमें बच्चे नहीं आ सके हैं। इसी तरह पेपर चलते हैं, उन बच्चों को मुश्किलात का सामना है। आम लोगों को कन्वेंस का इस वक्त बिल्कुल शहर में कन्वेंस नहीं है, तो बड़ी मुश्किलात का सामना करना पड़ेगा।
Authorities in 3 of Pakistan's 4 provinces have already imposed an emergency order banning all gathering after Khan's supporter clash with police. An aide to Imran Khan on Wednesday has asked supporters to remain peaceful ahead of the demonstrations. Shah Mahmud Qureshi, a close aide of Khan and vice chairman of PTI party, pleaded with supporters to exercise their constitutional right to protest but not destroy public or private property and remain peaceful. Khan, 70, a cricket hero turned politician, was ousted as Prime Minister in April 2022 in a parliamentary vote of no confidence. Police said that Khan will not be brought to court and his casual hearing will take place at a location where he is being held under custody in the Islamabad police lines area. Young athlete XUEN made history by becoming the first woman golfer to win the SEA Games gold after prevailing in the women's individual event at Garden City Golf Club earlier today. The 15-year-old brushed aside the challenge of Asia Pacific amateur golf champion Ilay of Thailand, who took the silver, while another Malaysian, Fong Ziwu, won the bronze. Earlier, XUEN confirmed the gold medal in the 32nd edition of the biennial games after defeating Galitsky in a one-hole playoff when the two were tied with 13 under par 203 after 3 rounds. At the same time, Malcolm Ting clinched the silver in the men's individual event, with the gold going to Vietnam's Lê Can Hung, while his compatriot Nguyen and Min took the bronze. As a matter of record, Irvin Chang became the first Malaysian to conquer the gold medal in the men's individual event in the 2021 edition in Hanoi, Vietnam last year. National hammer thrower who hails from Serike, Grace Wong, clinched a sweet success at the 2023 SEA Games. Despite admitting she was nervous in the competition, the 23-year-old contributed her training in Chengdu, China for almost 3 months, paid off as it bore her third personal gold.
Saya rasa sangat worth lah saya training, sebab training ni kan letih, boring, sometimes rasa nak give up. So saya rasa masa dapat pingat tu saya rasa the feeling tak sama sangat, macam wow, saya suka, I like the feeling macam tu. Yeah. Saya suka perasaan macam tu. Yeah. So saya rasa training hard like ada something. Untuk acara saya, technical training sangat banyak. So like hari-hari saya buat benda yang sama, buat teknik sama, warm up sama, semua sama. So rasa nak give up. Then masa training tu like saya tak nampak apa yang saya nak. Like kejauhan masa training tu. So rasa sangat fed up. Saya rasa fed up sikit lah, like boring, fed up, then jauh dari family lagi, training dekat China, like letih dalam hati, macam tu. Badan tak letih, okay, condition okay, tapi letih dalam hati je macam tu, macam rindu nak balik Malaysia, macam tu. So sometime lah, tapi okay lah, nasib lah saya ada coach yang sangat baik lah, dia sangat supportive. Yeah.
Wong shattered the SEA Games record, giving Malaysia a rousing start as she won the women's hammer throw gold at the Morodok Techo National Stadium on Monday. The national athlete, who is also majoring in accounting, added that she is currently gearing up for the World University Games in Chengdu, China in July.
Sekarang Grace tengah study lagi dekat Wishen College, dekat Selangor, course accounting. Ya, so sekarang ni sebab training dekat luar negara, dekat China, dan buat persediaan untuk SEA Games ni, so Majlis Sukan Negara dia akan bagi surat kepada college saya lah. So saya dapat pergi training fokus lah. So selepas ni bulan depan saya akan sambung. Ya.
Wong's motivation is rooted from her desire to pursue her family's legacy, as her uncle Wong Ti Kui was a well-known SEA Games hammer gold medalist in the 90s. The industrial microalgae production facility Cheetos Carbon Capture Central Sarawak will be able to produce about 45 tons of sustainable aviation fuel (SAF) that can be utilized for all aircraft in the world. This was the product of the three-way collaboration between Sarawak Biodiversity Centre (SBC), Sarawak Energy Berhad and Cheetos Group, a biotechnology company from Japan. With this success, Premier Sarawak Dato' Padinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said the Sarawak government has an objective to produce the green energy in a much larger scale.
I have proposed to the Japanese, our partner, that we set up the production level, say lah, just example, 6,000 tons a month. Then you calculate backward. How much land that you need, how much carbon that you need, and then they will produce based on that 6,000 ton. Kalau nya sebulan 6,000 ton, satu tahun 72,000 ton. That will bring us billions to the state revenue as well as to help the world to have net zero carbon, particularly in aviation industry. Berarti minyak daripada biofuel. Itulah teknologi yang saya nak announce today.
The current facility was built on a 5-hectare land, whereas plans to have a larger production will require 10,000 hectares of land which have been identified.
And together with Chesote, our next wish to upscale the production up to 10,000 hectares. Area will be somewhere between Bangalian and Tanjung Manis. And then, as you know, we are storing carbon capture. You need carbon, and then we have the natural sunlight. So, in other words, the production of biomass will be large scale, and we will become one of the world major producer of algae biomass that will produce SAF to be used by the airline industry aviation.
Abang Johari also revealed that the upcoming Sarawak airline will be powered by the green energy produced. More details will be announced during the 16th edition of Langkawi International Maritime and Aerospace Exhibition, Lima 23, later on this month.
Deputy Premier Sarawak, Dato' Amar Douglas Ukahambas, is optimistic that the construction of the Batang Paloh Bridge in Tanjung Manis and the Muara Lasa Bridge projects will be completed by December 2024. According to him, the 1.7-kilometer long Batang Paloh Bridge is currently at 58.33% completed, which is below the expected schedule of 63.88%, while the construction of the 2.43 kilometers long Muara Lasa Bridge, he said, is on track and progressing well.
Uga, who is also the Minister of Infrastructure and Port Development, said the factors delaying the construction workflow include vessels hitting the bridge structures while passing the area, difficulties in getting construction materials and in securing foreign workers.
And we have a very productive discussion with the support of the local YB also on way forward to resolve the issue. We are very confident that this issue will be resolved as soon as possible. And now the JKR is working out the new completion date. I'm appealing to the contractor to complete it by December 2024.
He said this after a visit to the two sites with his Deputy Minister Aidil Lariwu, Sumop Assemblyman Dato' Abdullah Saidul and Daru Assemblyman Shafi'i Ahmad. Commenting on the same matter, Dato' Abdullah Saidul said the government is refining the actions to be taken by the ministry in resolving the issues. Therefore, he hopes for cooperation from all parties to ensure the smooth progress of the construction projects.
berharap semua masyarakat di Pulau Bruit terutama sekali akan terus memberi sokongan, bersabar, dan insyaAllah projek ini akan memudahkan perjalanan mereka selepas ini. Dan juga kita ada juga meminta supaya jalan masuk ke feri akan dibaiki pulih dan juga penambahan feri pada waktu-waktu tertentu kerana sejak akhir ini kenderaan banyak melalui perjalanan antara Daro, Pulau Bruit dan terusnya ke Tanjung Manis. Antara yang menjadi isu yang harus ditangani ialah tentang pergerakan kapal melalui muara Batapaloh ini yang telah menyebabkan beberapa kemalangan yang menyebabkan sedikit berlaku kerosakan di tapak pembinaan dan juga kekurangan warga kerja yang perlu ditangani untuk menambahkan pekerja asing di kawasan ini.
The Batang Palo Bridge cost 298 million ringgit, while Muara Lasa Bridge, the second longest bridge in the state, cost 597 million ringgit. The two bridges were part of the Coastal Highway and the second trunk road projects costing a total of 11 billion ringgit and financed wholly by the state government.
Sarawak will develop an action plan for urban transportation in Miri City to strengthen its transformation plan by 2035. Sarawak's Minister of Transport, Datuk Sri Lee Kim Shin, said that the action plan is currently in its feasibility study on identifying new strategies and directions for the city. He said this after signing the Miri City Transportation Action Plan study with Kertin Bio Valley Sendirian Berhad at Baitul Makmur 1 building on Wednesday, April 10. Lee further revealed that his ministry have appointed Kertin Bio Valley Sendirian Berhad as the consultant of the study, which is expected to be completed within 9 months. Lee further stressed that it is one of the Sarawak government's aspirations to ensure orderly urban transportation development in Miri. Coming up right after the break, mixed reactions to 10-year driving license renewal. Sarawak anticipates increased direct flights, boosting tourism and economy. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim reiterated his call for the establishment of the Asian Monetary Fund in line with ASEAN's initiative to enhance the region's regional economic independence and safety net. He said such a regional mechanism will be able to better understand the realities and needs of ASEAN member countries and thus propose more suitable remedial measures.
In his intervention at the 42nd ASEAN Summit 2023's opening and plenary session, he welcomes ASEAN leaders' declaration on advancing regional payment connectivity and promoting local currency transaction. The initiative, he said, would enhance the use of local currencies to support cross-border trade and investment in ASEAN. On the ASEAN community's post-2025 vision, the Prime Minister said ASEAN must be able to demonstrate greater confidence and readiness to seize the opportunities aimed at bringing favorable changes to its people and the region, to be carried out in the next 2 years to chart ASEAN's strategic path for the next 2 decades. Anwar said the vision must also strengthen ASEAN's geopolitical and geo-economic footprint and assertiveness and shape a fair, just and ethical international order. The Prime Minister and other ASEAN leaders today attended the summit to discuss several issues of common interest to the regional grouping. Now, 8 heads of government from the 10 ASEAN member states participated in the summit. The exceptions were Myanmar, which was not invited, and Thailand, which faces elections on May 14. Also present were ASEAN Secretary General Dr. Kau Kim Horn and Timor-Leste Prime Minister Taur Matanruak.
Malaysia expressed disappointment on the lack of real progress in ASEAN's efforts to tackle the humanitarian crisis and human rights violations in Myanmar, which has entered its 3rd year. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the situation in Myanmar remains challenging, but all ASEAN members support Indonesia, Asians chair this year, to implement the 5-point consensus 5PC to resolve the crisis.
In a statement to the media, Anwar said Malaysia took note that Indonesia has undertaken 60 engagements with various stakeholders in Myanmar and that the progress remains slow. He also said Malaysia would use its good relations with other countries to rally the international community to support ASEAN's efforts in addressing the crisis in Myanmar. He added that Malaysia will work closely with the Special Envoy of the United Nations Secretary General in this matter. A peaceful resolution in Myanmar, he further said, can only be achieved by the collective will of all the parties concerned in Myanmar to uphold the aspiration of the people of the country.
The public has responded with a mixed range of opinions to the government's recent announcement of a 10-year validity period for driving licenses. TVS survey conducted in Kuching shows that while some drivers welcome the decision, others opine that a shorter duration would be more appropriate to ensure the maintenance of road quality and safety.
Bagi saya lah 10 tahun tu agak lama sikit lah 10 tahun. Tapi bagi yang generasi muda-muda tu boleh lah sebab setidaknya memerlukan lesen yang untuk masa yang panjang. Jadi macam saya tu isi sesuai lah untuk pakai 10 tahun. Takut kadang-kadang lupa. Jadi 5 tahun mungkin lah boleh dipakai.
For my opinion, I think is for 5 years already enough. Yeah, not necessary for 10 years. Maybe our health not to convert until 10 years. That one is we don't know one. Yeah, it maybe is 6. That one is very we don't know one.
Renew license selama 10 tahun bagi kami memudahkan orang lain supaya selalu pergi situ. Yang memudahkan juga lah. Kami tu bawa dekat renew juga. So sangat-sangat membantu rakyat untuk kira menjimatkan duit juga. Sebagai macam kami tu pelajar menjimatkan masa juga, dapat kira macam ni extend masa lebih lama baru renew lagi.
1 to 10 years also can, no harm. not much helps to our people lah. Senang itu. Yang pentingnya urusan ni, like the counter mana ada cukup. You should get more people are getting more and more people getting driving this live driving license. Like this kind of counter mana cukup mendampung atau orang bertambah. That's why the JPJ should get more and more. Kalau satu kawasan agak besar dan penduduk berapa banyak, bukalah counter dekat sana.
There's one good thing is, people can save the time running up and down JPJ every year or every 3 years to renew the license. This was driving license, right? So they can only mark down or 10 years I go there once to renew, so save them a lot of time lah. And then, of course, the fees collected by the government, they can collect 10 years fees at one go. It's good for the government. Maybe the other thing is, if what happens if this rider or the driver flout some of the transport rules and regulations? What is going to happen to the rest of the years? Is it going to be confiscated, or they can just continue with the 10 years renewal?
Previously, the government announced that the public can renew their Malaysian driving licenses (MLM) for a maximum period of 10 years, compared to the previous 5-year limit. Federal Transport Minister Anthony Loke stated that this is one of the 2 initiatives under the Ministry of Transport that offers the public the opportunity to renew their licenses starting from May 8 exclusively at Road Transport Department JPJ offices. Earlier today, TVS conducted a public survey and gathered their opinions following the announcement of reinstating the direct flights between Sarawak and China. Here are their response.
Bagi kami, pembukaan penerbangan baru dari China ke Kuching, satu inisiatif yang baiklah, sebab satu, sidak penerbangan dari China, pelancong dari China perlu direct pergi dari KL, masukkan pelancong China akan bertambah, and kita pun payah susah pun kita nak travel ke pergi China, terus direct dari situ ajalah, dari KIA pergi ke China, perlu melalui KLIA dan sebagainya. And then yang kedua, dari segi ekonomi, yang akan membantu untuk lonjatkan lagi ekonomi Sarawak, sebab kalau memang hasil kelak, kita yang akan dapatlah hasil duit apa semua, and kita pun promotion untuk pelancongan Kuching and Sarawak lah, secara totalnya pun akan makin berkembang, sebab kita tahu jumlah pelancong paling tertinggi yang pernah pergi ke Malaysia tu, yang pertama dari China, of course, and then yang kedua dari area-area Amerika, dari area barat lah.
Tapi so far so good lah cadangannya. Tapi untuk future mendapat banyak gila. Senang kita untuk travel step by step lah.
Meanwhile, tourists were also pleased to know the increased options available.
I think it'd be beneficial, like just you wouldn't have to stop on the way, especially for travellers. It's much easier if you can go direct rather than stopping. Stopovers obviously make you tire you out, So yeah, I think it'd be beneficial. We came from Thailand a couple of days ago and we had to stop in Kuala Lumpur. So what could have been a 2-hour flight, maybe I think it was six hours. So of course it's a time saver and you're not as tired coming back, and it's various reasons. Of course it's beneficial,
I have one thing to add. So we had actually gone travelling about 5 years ago, and because Borneo, we're from Ireland, so Borneo is like 3 or 4 flights for us to get, so that actually stopped us coming to Borneo the first time. So yeah, look, I think direct links between Sarawak and somewhere even in Europe that you didn't have to get 3 flights, it would be great.
The Sarawak government welcomes the proposal to resume direct flights between the state and China. Its Minister of Transport, Datuk Sri Lee Kim Shin, said the route will play a big role in driving the growth of the tourism, trade, investment and logistic industry in Sarawak. And that is all the news for TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching.